How y'all doing today? But baby, if you are Khloe Kardashian, all I have to say is, y'all, listen, I am fascinated with this saga because, baby, this is days of our lives to me. The ups, the downs, the press releases. Khloe thinking she finally got Tristan where she want him, only for him to, literally, he always hits her with no matter what. You thought I was feeling you? Khloe, you a munch. Y'all, let's get into this newest iteration because, baby, if you guys don't know, Khloe rushed to Tristan's aid to help him with his mom's step, to which Tristan said, I got it, and stop telling people you paying for my mama's funeral. Then she rushed to tell us, TMZ cameras in tow, that she was gonna save Tristan and his brother, to which Tristan said, I got it. My mommy raised a man. I'm gonna start acting like it. Thank you very much. Y'all, now you know with Khloe, that did not sit well. And she started lashing out passive aggressively over Instagram, saying this, that, the strongest doormat in the world. Well, baby, it's not over. It's not over. Because if you don't know, she's been out posting a little bit more. And you know, Tristan knows he went a little bit too far because he had to post a picture of him and True. Because you know, every time him and Khloe are on the outs, he posts a picture of True being the best dad in the world. And Khloe's heart melts, her ovary sings, and she's ready to give that old thing one more chance. But let me just say this, right? Because I gotta laugh. Are you serious? Khloe's newest Instagram post. This girl always finds a way to top herself and always finds a way to just be a little bit delusional. She said, life hits different when you stop trying to prove you didn't say that. You didn't do that. You're not like that. You can't fix every lie and every rumor. Neither can you defend yourself every time something is said about you. Just be great. Okay, first of all, brilliant words. Like everything Khloe posts. Brilliant words, but can we just talk about this? Khloe, what are you talking about? You and your family trade in innuendo, trade in rumor, trade in propaganda, should we say, right? Stop trying to prove you didn't say that. Khloe, Coco, put down that phone. Tristan's not texting back. We need to have a talk. No one would know what was in your life if you didn't tell us. Nobody would know about Tristan's mom or what was going on internally if you didn't try to make an issue about it. No one would know what you were going through if you stopped posting memes. See, here's the thing, right? And this is what gets on my nerves. And I know who am I? I am me. You are on my channel. Welcome. You bring things up. You talk about it. You make an issue of it. Then when things don't go the way you want, which is for you to get sympathy, pity, and also this odd savior hero complex, then you throw a tantrum that you can't control the world. This is true, but when are you going to start listening to your own self? We're going to talk about this in a second because start trying to defend yourself. Khloe, people have mentioned you in lawsuits about how you almost caused them to miscarry their baby. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch the video where Jordan Craig went in the court papers. She said that her and Tristan's relationship with Khloe is one of the reasons why she almost miscarried. I remember that time. Khloe has been an internet thug and bully along with Kimberly Kardashian for the longest. So it cracks me up that the biggest internet trolls, thugs, and bullies are now saying they wanted to stop. Girl, Khloe had to give herself a small reminder. Every day is a new day. What other people think of you is none of your business. I agree. You don't see me creeping on somebody's page and talking about what they hear about me. I really don't care. Anyway, if it's meant to be, it will. That's true. Are you going to stop pushing the issue with Tristan Kardashian, nay, Tristan Thompson? I'm just saying. If it's meant to be, it will. Be your own source of happiness. Absolutely. You don't have to follow trends or do what everyone else is doing. Your whole life is a trip. You know what? Let's just keep going. How your life feels is more important than how it looks. Embrace your vulnerability. No, Khloe, you are too vulnerable. Here's the thing. What we say does not apply to her. Don't follow trends. Your whole life is a trend. Don't worry about what other people say about you. You have focus groups, because if people don't like you, where's your money come from? On top of that, embrace your vulnerability. No. Let me explain something about self-help to people that people actually don't realize, and then we'll keep going with this nonsense. You can be too much, right? And when I say too much, it's like we are all yin and yang. Just hear me out, right? Let's just take me. For instance, right? I'm loud, I'm boisterous, I'm everything. I literally do not understand what the equivalent of shame is as far as people trying to shame me for being loud, doing this, doing that. It doesn't register, right? So when someone said, well, there might be somebody sitting next to me and they're like, listen, you need to be more uninhibited. You need to do this. You need not to think about what people think about you. Yeah, that might be good advice to the person sitting next to me. But me, I actually, to balance my yin and yang out, might need to start thinking a little bit more about what I do, where I go, what I say. Not to the point of hurting myself, but you need to balance yourself out. Case in point, Khloe, you are too vulnerable to the people that prey on you. Too vulnerable. I don't know what door Kris Jenner built into all her daughters mentally, but with Khloe especially, she built a door that Khloe listens to like a Bible. And when Khloe was young, it worked out well because she could control Khloe and Kris and Kim and Kourtney and all those, and let them do what they wanted to do. Let them do what she wanted them to do. I get it. But the problem is now the girls are older, and there are people that can quote the Bible far better than Kris Jenner ever could. There are people that can run that game far better than Kris can. And she built a doorway for many people, men especially, to take advantage of her girls. Again, Khloe, we get, be honest, be bold with your feelings, be vulnerable. But when that vulnerability, right? When that vulnerability does not track, does not help you, girl, toughen up. It's a cold winter. You better toughen up. Anyway, right? Don't let the world harden you into the person you are not. Khloe, will somebody just let her know you do not get points for letting the world punch you in the face over and over and over again. That's not the way the universe works. God helps those that help themselves. God didn't say lay on the floor and let people wipe their feet on you. And that's how you show you love, give love. God's like, no, girl. Even Jesus was around the merchants, flipping over tables and letting them know, don't start that, be nothing. The Lord helps those that helps themselves. You don't get points for sticking your head into the lion's mouth. The Lord is like, we already saved you one time. This is the 8th time this month. Girl, get out of here anyway. The first step is always the hardest. Stop rushing the process. You've survived 100% of your bad days. A year from now, you'll wish you had started today. You got this. She then went on to say, some other stuff, right? We'll get back into this, but I will say this, right? And I will say this, and this is the issue with Khloe, that until she works around it, it's never going to click, right? Khloe likes to chase. Lots of people like to chase, men and women. Don't tell you it's just men. Khloe likes to chase. Because why does she like to chase so much with Tristan? Why is she starting this toxic cycle all over again? Why can't she just let that mofo go? Because half the time Tristan is kicking and screaming, girl, get off of me. Ew, 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 yuck, just throw me true and I'll talk to you later. He ain't even said nothing about his youngest born son. I'm just saying, right? But Tristan's changing. He posted something on Instagram, so we're going to wait to see the change. But let's be real, right? Khloe is a chaser. What does that mean? And this is a PSA. Please talk to your friends about this if you know other chasers, because what's the whole thing with being chased? See, to the person, when you're not that savvy, when you're chased, it actually might even seem like a big ego boost, because that person wants you more than anything in the world. And they're willing to sacrifice anything and everyone to get you because they need you. But the thing is with chasers, and this is the ugly truth that you should realize, if you are being pursued by a man or woman, the thing with people that like to chase is it's never about you. And as much as we like to dog Tristan out, And by we, I mean me, y'all. If welcome to my channel, you know what I'm talking about. Watch the Khloe and Tristan playlist. As much as we like to dog Tristan out, tell him he's wrong, do all this stuff, at the end of the day, Tristan at least has enough knowledge to realize what anyone that's ever been seriously chased, love bomb, whatever, knows. If you will sacrifice hell and earth, right? And everything, even yourself, to get me, that just means you'll do the same thing for someone else. Oh, you didn't hear me? That just means that you will do the same thing for anybody else. And why is that? Because at the end of the day, when somebody is a chaser, when somebody is a pursuer, there is a vein of selfishness that runs through that. What is that vein? The vein is that if you feel like if you can chase that person down, and if you can convince them to be with you, then you will finally have happiness. Why is that? Because the chase is nothing but you in a war with yourself, chasing yourself, trying to prove to yourself using another person. It can be any person. It doesn't have to be you. That's why when people chase you, you shouldn't take it. I mean, to that level, you shouldn't take it seriously, because they are using whoever is their current fixation as a proxy to argue and convince themselves that they are worthy, that they are lovable. And the more somebody resists your temptations, resist wanting to be in a relationship with you, the more the chaser will amp up. Because again, they are in a war and a battle with themselves to prove that they are worthy of love, to prove that they will. Now listen, that's sad when you think about it on the person, but don't mistake kindness for weakness. It does put them at a very weak disadvantage, but it does not distract from the fact that every person that you go on that chase with, you don't really love them. You don't even know them. And oddly enough, 9 times out of 10, when that person stops running and turns around and says, yes, I'll love you, at first it feels like you've won everything. But then the truth comes out, doesn't it? What is that truth? The truth is, once that winning feeling subsides, you start chasing again. Because even though you thought, if only this person would love me and accept me and this and that, and I know I'm this and I know I'm that, and I know that's why they don't love me, but if I can convince them, I'll be so happy. What happens the next time? You convince them, and then that sinking feeling comes in. That feeling of loss, that feeling of suffering, that feeling of remorse comes in. What is that? That's the feeling of you having to be with yourself and realizing that whatever demons were made in your mind, in your psyche, that you are fighting against why you feel so unworthy, that person is not enough to feel it. The relationship was not enough to feel it. It was never enough to feel it. It never was. And that's why it's a chase. And that's why as soon as you catch one person, you find a new obsession and you chase them down. This is why I think, because Tristan's a chaser too, but he chases in different ways. He chases in a horizontal labada way, because Tristan uses women as a way to outrun whatever he's running. And whenever he beds a new woman, for a moment, he forgets what's going on. Okay? And that's why he's always going after woman after woman after woman. Khloe's different. Khloe sees her self-esteem as being rejected, not being good enough, not being first choice, not being the prettiest, not being the smartest. I'm not saying I believe that about Khloe. Khloe, for all her faults, from before she even touched her face and gave herself a Michael Jackson nose to try to look like Tristan Thompson's friends. Literally, I was talking to my girlfriend the other day and she said it. Look at Khloe when she smiles now. She could be Tristan's twin. She's trying to morph into Tristan. The whole point of the matter is, when it comes to Khloe and Tristan, she 100% chases. And whoever put that narrative in her head, I have a feeling it's Kris Jenner, probably Bruce too. They raised her. Robert Kardashian Sr., maybe rest in peace, was too young to, you know, he died when she was a little bit too young. So I definitely think it is Bruce Jenner combined with Kris Jenner, or Kris Kardashian, whatever you want to call her. My whole point of the matter is, as soon as she gets, if Tristan did settle down with her, it would keep continuing. Because that's another thing about most chasers. Khloe has a toxic mixture. She is a chaser, but she's also a fixer. What is a fixer? If you can just fix everybody around you, life will be perfect. So you get people, and instead of seeing them as autonomous beings that have their own issues, their own wants, their own needs, you say, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to take you, my little wounded bird. And if someone's like, I'm not wounded, you try to wound them so you can fix them, or you try to say, oh, no, you're wounded here. And you go out your way to fix them. Like the same way she tried to fix Lamar with the rehab and the candlelight vigils over his hospital bed. The way she tried to fix Tristan and what's going on with him and the love. And if only you could just see what a great person you are, you wouldn't need other women. Don't you know? When his mom sadly passed away, no, I'm going to be the great savior. Why is this savior complex? Because again, and this is why Khloe doesn't understand. You keep saying this stuff. You keep talking about God. You keep talking about Jesus. And again, I'm on the outside looking in, but you know, sometimes people that have a 2, 3, 4 thing of removal works. You keep talking. Why do your blessings never come? Why is the karma always putting you at the end? Because at the end of the day, you have selfish motivations. You are fixing Tristan. One, you want to make him into the perfect person who knows how to love you. That's not it. Everybody is a fully formed individual, man, woman, child. Come on. But second of all, if you can fix Tristan, then you think there's hope for yourself. If you can wash Tristan away of all of his hurts and injustices that I'm sure he's cried to a million times to explain why he keeps messing with Jen from accountant, Sarah from the sports arena, Sue from up the block, right? He keeps doing that. You keep doing that because you think that if you can redeem Tristan, then there's hope for you. You think that if you can piece Tristan back again, there's hope for you. But the real gag is, Khloe, of course there's hope for you. But when are you going to start piecing yourself together? Because you're putting all this effort into Tristan, but girl, I see, and so does karma, and so does everything else see. You're using Tristan as a proxy so you don't have to do the work on yourself yet because you're not ready to do the work. And as much as you cry and scream and post on Instagram and cry on camera and truly break our hearts, it's not a funny thing. It's truly break anybody's heart that has a soul. At the end of the day, all of those tears, all of those outside babies, all of that trauma, all of that mental abuse, all of everything, it's still a better option to you than you sitting alone with yourself and actually doing the work. And by that I say doing the work, I don't mean finding a new Tristan, finding somebody else to chase, finding somebody else to obsess with. No, beloved, these are all different methods that Khloe is using so she doesn't have to sit with herself. Where did she learn that she was so unlovable? Where did she learn that she wasn't worth it? Where did she learn it wasn't valued? Where did she learn that she had to cut up her whole face from top to bottom? Where did she learn that? And even then, don't get me wrong, I'm not against plastic surgery, baby. Once this has gone south to the point of, you better believe I'll be in there for some nips and tucks. Hopefully by then, they have some space age stuff where you can just sit in a room and absorb vapors and like the fountain of youth happens, right? Let's be real, right? But then I have an interesting theory on that. Let me just go on a sidetrack. I read this article the other day that said that scientists have figured out, at least in mice, how to turn back the epigenetic clock. So even though, let's just say the mice is 2 years old, epigenetically, which is what your cells look like on an internal thing, the mouse might be 6 months old. They are actually getting to the fountain of youth. And I thought about that and I said, if that happens, I think that old age is going to become sexy. Just hear me out, right? And then we'll get back to the Khloe thing. Shut up. Yeah, no, I like to go off on tangents. I feel like that's going to become sexy. Why do you ask? Well, for 2 simple things. First of all, I'm not an ageist. I actually look at people that have age and visibly look old. It's a thing of beauty. The wrinkles tell a story. That whether you're too, like, you know how some people get old and they get very skinny, that tells a story too of victory. Whether somebody gets old and gets super, super fluffy, puts on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, who cares? That is a beautiful thing because you have what everything in this world works. Life force. You have lived your life. cried your tears, smiled, and there's still more to go. Listen, old age to me is sexy, 100%. And I don't mean that in like a gross manner. I mean like it shows like the triumph of life and something we should all aspire to. It's also a fool's journey to hold on to youth, but think about it, right? If part of the reason when people say, oh, you look so young, you're youthful, or you don't look your age, or you look older than your age, whatever that case may be, is the way you carry yourself. Some people have youthful spirits. What does youth means? To have like hope, openness to new things, happiness, energy. That's a youthful spirit. You can have that at 100. You could have that at 2. You could have an old spirit at 10 thing. But do you see, I think when people are obsessed with youth, and right now we associate all that with, you know, perky little booty, firm skin, all that stuff. But what happens if things change? What happens if there is surgery or a pill that people can take that 100-year-old can look like they're 23? But here's the thing, is that really youth? Or is it just the way your skin looks? Because the 100-year-old will still act like a 100-year-old. And if you know that youth is something that can be bought, sold, or whatever, does it make it that special anymore? Then what will probably become sexy? People that are self-confident, that let the wrinkles come, that let the skin hang, that let nature do its course. The same way the Kardashians have made it disgusting, almost vulgar to have a perfect face because it looks so plastic, it looks so anti. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get back to Khloe. I will firmly be a believer that part of the reason that Khloe is so hemmed up and so caught up is the fact that, beloved, your karma's not coming. Your blessings aren't coming because you don't have the best intentions. And the thing is, I'm not saying Khloe's a bad person. I'm just saying she doesn't have pure intentions. Your intentions are to use Tristan for the rest of your life as a proxy so that you don't have to deal with yourself. And the sad thing is, once things are done with Tristan and he stops running, right? What then? What then? You'll be alone with yourself again. And this whole vicious cycle will start all over again. And guess what? This time you'll find somebody even more degenerate than Tristan was. You'll find someone even more unfaithful, more disrespectful, because you're going to need a bigger chase because you almost caught up with yourself last time. So keep running to make sure that doesn't happen again. Yo, she's a runner. She's a track star. She gonna run away when things get hard, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. Seriously, this is a mess, but you know I'm gonna follow it because I am fascinated by the archetypes and the human fallacy that is at play. Plus, it's just funny. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.